All right, what's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be here. Good to see everyone up in the side chat popping in. Alan, get us started off right, sir.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Uh, well, that is if this thing wants to start beeping at me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome. How you doing, man?
Oh man, it has been a rough week for me. I just last week, right at the tail end of the show, you could tell I just didn't have it in me, and I just got worse from there. I've been sick all week. Occasionally, I'll be muting the mic because I'm dying. It's been a rough week still doing my standard 65, 70 hour work week. So been a rough one.
Well, we're glad you're here, man. Glad you can make it, and hopefully you feel better soon. Jamie, what's going on, man?
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Church this morning. Been working on some other stuff around here since, and looking forward to doing some Sunday night stuff with you guys. Thanks, man.
Awesome, man. Good to see you. What's going on, Bolt?
Well, living a dream. Another day, another dollar. Thanks for having me. Just looking forward to productive chat. This is pretty much the highlight of my life these days.
That's pretty sad, but we're glad you're here. And we got Pat outside. What's going on, Pat?
Oh, not much. I've been hanging out with the kids outside. Went morel hunting down on the river bottom earlier, and now just chilling with the dog and trying to get some stuff cooked up on the fire. Right now, trying out my new hanging grill. So, yeah, thanks for having me on, brother. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Looks like it's nice out there.
Yeah, not bad. About 60 degrees, 58, somewhere right around in there. So not too hot, not too cold. Just about perfect weather for me.
Awesome. Good deal. Well, we'll start with a few things that were kind of positive this week as far as what you see with the media and guns. There's a lot of stuff to keep pushing this BS, but we all know that. But we did see the Tennessee governor sign into law that teachers can now carry. So that's pretty freaking awesome. As well as a couple coming out of Iowa as well. The governor signed one there as well, right, Alan?
Yeah, here in Iowa, Governor Kim Reynolds signed in House was it 250-86 or something. But it too, Iowa teachers and school employees can get professional carry permits and carry on school grounds. A step in the right direction, totally, in my opinion. We guard banks, we guard jewelry stores, we guard Walmarts, for goodness sake. Why would we not protect our schools?
Well, worst of all, we protect our politicians, but we won't protect kids. Explain that one.
Isn't that like some kind of law that all the senators and congressmen, they can get carry permits easy even in DC, where it's pretty much like non-existent?
Yes, but actually in congressional chambers, they're not supposed to carry. So that's peculiar in my
Lauren,
opinion.
what was it? Bobert, she fought that one for a while. Yeah, they can do all the work to get the permit, but they can't carry it. Makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes a perfect sense. It's like a New York State. You get a permit, you can carry in the New York State. Even with the new rulings after the Bruin decision, now everybody gets a full carry in New York State. But if you want to carry in New York City, you need a special permit. Your New York State permit is not good in New York City. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Vanessa Kitty, yes. So far, no school system has allowed it. No, how do you actually put it? No school districts have actually allowed it. But the way that the law is written, it actually protects school districts and the employees thereof from using reasonable force. And so I see it as having a large amount of potential of school systems, possibly even districts, allowing it and endorsing it, specifically rural school districts. You get into the city school districts, and who knows, there could be a lot of leftist leaning individuals in those districts. There's a lot of leftist leaning individuals typically in school systems, but yeah, it's written well for the actual school districts.
Have we seen any gun companies stepping up to the plate as far as offering any kind of training or offering anything out there as trying to help these teachers? Have we seen GOA or anything like that stepping up to the plate out there as well?
I have yet to actually see anything. This is really, really fresh, at least here in Iowa. But I don't doubt that it'll happen. Because yeah, to have manufacturers or big groups go out, assist in providing the actual training, any training that anybody wants to take, even if they don't if it isn't required, they still these are professional individuals. They'll be caring professionally, and those kind of individuals, even myself, I would, if I was to be caring professionally, I'll take any training you offer me.
Yeah, I would see that as an argument. Sometimes people make arguments against having the training. If it's there, why not take it? Take the good from the bad. You may not take everything that you learn from it, but maybe, you separate the good from the bad from it.
Yeah, we see a lot of opposition to required training. That's one of the things about Iowa's carry licenses. There's a non-professional carry license. There's a professional carry license. And so, yeah, I can understand if you're carrying in a professional capacity, there being a certain amount of required training. I just do. And me, if I was carrying in a professional capacity, you're gonna give me any kind of training, I'm all over it. I'm gonna take any class you want to send me to. More power to you. You want to send me to a monthly class, I'll go to a monthly class.
Man, I'm telling y'all what, Vanessa's all over this. Sorry, Scott. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I think she's just frustrated at the system in general.
But she's 100% dead on, man. And our school system here where I work, my boss is on the executive team. there there's school systems in Georgia that are starting to build security teams from the teachers that are retired military, and my boss happens to be retired military, but he's not. He doesn't have a teaching certificate. We're IT, we're technical people. So, but there's a lot of guys that are not retired military that would make excellent, 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 security team members, and uh, I can think of quite a few that are not retired military. But Vanessa's right; she's retired military. She's got the teaching certificate. She's got master's degrees in the subject she teaches, and that whole thing about you can't get enough teachers, so you drop the certification for teachers. That should only be temporary measures. Those teachers that are hired to be teachers that don't have certificates, that should only last for one school year. They should have to be certified by the time the next school year starts, in my opinion. But security teams in schools, that's a whole different matter, and we're seeing more and more progressing toward that in school systems, particularly here where I live.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with the Razor JB. Just because you're former military, that shouldn't be enough. It's got to be like individual bases and background. There's a lot of.
I was
Just
going
because
to
you're
say,
former military,
over the years, I've seen on the range, I've seen some of the worst people come out are former military, and they're just all over the place, either waving it around, not paying attention to what they're doing with the muzzle, you name it.
yeah. So that's. I mean, it's absolutely it should be on an individual basis. But if nothing else, like for example, in New York State, you have to get 16-hour training course, then 2-hour on the range training course before you get your CCW now. So and you're going through all these background checks, paying all this money, takes such a long time to get it. So if I do have that concealed carry, why do I have to lock up my guns someplace else if I go pick up my kid at school? I mean, it should be, so I mean, if you want to step it up and have extra certification so you can carry in school when you go pick up. I'm not talking about teachers. I'm talking about the regular job law. You go pick up your kid or whatever. Now imagine you go pick up your kid and you got your CCW on you. So I mean, technically, concealed is concealed. If nobody sees, nobody knows. But in reality, you shouldn't even lock it up in a car because it shouldn't even be on a school property. But
Right.
on the other hand, same thing with the cops. Cops carry when they go to post office all the time. Technically, by the law, they're not supposed to be carrying in a post office unless they are in the post office in the official capacity. When the cop's in uniform and he goes, drops off the letter or pays the bill or whatever at the postal service, he should not be armed. Just like me and you.
Okay, this is the
And
thing.
graders out there says 90% of graders don't actually go to the range as much as a regular hobbyist does. And that's true. We see it with cops and all the rest of it as well. They're all the same. They only go when they need to qualify, things like that.
Okay, here's a question for you guys, and we're seeing it in the infant stages of having security teams in schools, and I was taking the first step there. So, and we've heard Val comment about, you're not even supposed to have a gun in your car when you go pick your kids up and you're driving through school property. So, what's going to happen with these security teams? Are they going to have all of their firearms in a weapons locker somewhere centralized? Is it going to be centralized in the system? Is it going to be centralized at each individual school? What is that going to look like? We don't know that. So if we've got things locked up where people can't get to them, and you have an active shooter at a school killing kids and killing teachers, how long is it going to take to get a response? Well, if we look at that shooting in Texas, even if that's the case, you're going to have a lot quicker response than it took the police, what was it, an hour and a half to get there and actually start doing something?
Oh, they were there pretty quick, but they just stood by and let things happen. They didn't actually go in and do anything yet. They were told to stand by and wait for SWAT.
Well, from what I understand, I went and took, it wasn't course, it was more of a information seminar the local sheriff's department had about active shooter, and it wasn't really about what to do, but it was more about what to expect if there's an active shooter, and how does the police respond. So from what they told us over there, if there's actual active shooter scenario, the closest law enforcement unit comes in and they form a diamond formation, four of them, and they go in. And it doesn't matter if they don't wait for the backup. They just go, and their sole purpose is go find, eliminate the active shooter. They do not stop to help the wounded. They do not stop to evacuate anybody. The sole purpose is just go and eliminate the threat. So that's kind of the way it should be, if you ask me. But biggest issue is, we shouldn't be, something like an active shooter shouldn't even be in the vocabulary. So we should address the problem somewhere at the root. Like how the hell we had no active shooters now that shit 50 years ago, or even 30, 40 years ago, you had virtually none of this stuff, and all of a sudden you have this on a regular basis. Something somewhere is broken. Like we have over here in New York, well, I don't know, it probably differs different county to county. Like some counties have basically sheriff's office supplies somebody that is in a school. Some of the schools hire resource officer. My friend, he's a retired corrections officer, so he's a resource officer right now at high school. So he walks around in a civilian clothes with a concealed carry and just kind of keeps an eye on stuff. But I don't think he had to go through any extra special training, given he already was an instructor for the corrections department. But I'm pretty sure he didn't have to get a whole lot of special qualification for that, because pretty much if you're law enforcement, retired law enforcement, they consider you qualified already for a position like that. And it doesn't matter if you've been with the sheriff's department and all you did your entire life is fire 50 rounds a year for your qualification.
Yeah, and when I'm talking about other training for a professional license, I'm not talking about a ton of required shit. Yeah, okay, there may be a required test that you have to go take. Just like law enforcement. So it's not, I'm saying these teachers are going to have to jump all kinds of different hoops and jump through fire and everything else in order to be able to do this. The teachers that are willing and wanting to do it will take the time to go do this 2-hour required course and a shoot test annually or whatever.
Well, more than likely,
there's got to be a happy medium.
Well, more than likely, those that already have the will to do it probably have some sort of training already. So they're going to be more adept to be, okay, yeah, let me do that. Whatever is going to let them be able to possess that and have that.
Exactly. And the training can be specific to their situation. It can literally be designed specifically for what they can and can't do, just to give them more information about the situation they're getting themselves into. It doesn't have to be all that. I'm not saying, add a bunch of more fucking goddamn red tape. Just it's not going to deter, not to deter a teacher from carrying. No.
Yeah, I have a tendency to agree with that. And here's the thing, most of those, at least the schools that I grew up in around here, and most of them around here, you're not taking any 100-yard shots or anything like that. It's a lot of just hallways and a lot of doors, So I don't know. Would you guys consider that more close quarters combat kind of situation versus anything else on that inside of
Well,
a school?
honestly,
Um,
that's probably more of the bigger issue as far as when it would come to training, because they may be a great shot, but do they know how to clear a room? Do they know how to walk around and clear and do the necessary things when it comes to that? Probably not.
To be honest, you guys overthinking it too much, because for one, chances of teachers actually using the gun in that significantly become lower, because the perpetrators will less likely try to attack the school when they know the teachers carry. I'd be more concerned about training the teachers, not obviously they need to know how to shoot, but more actually how to carry gun, where to carry gun, not to get jumped by the couple of hood rats and in a school and taking the gun from them or stuff like that. I'd be more concerned with NDs and getting the gun stolen or shit like that.
And I think that's why the law is that you can't have a firearm on school property at all. I think they're concerned about a kid getting a hold of a gun and accidents happening.
Yeah. So if you think about all that, there's a little more involved. Like on the one hand, yeah, your kids might be safer from actual active shooter coming in, but then again, if you have a screwed up couple of kids in the school, they don't even have to bring the gun, because there's already a bunch of guns in a school. If they know which teacher, all they gotta do is jump in. So it's like it's kind of double-edged sword. So purely just arming the teachers, I'm not 100% convinced that's the right way to do. Plus, there's teachers like Vanessa Kitty that are willing and trained and all that. There's only few and far in between. I mean, let's face it, most of the teachers are liberals. They don't really want to have nothing to do with the guns, and so they teach us. So for them to actually wanted to do it, wanted to take the training, and kind of changing their entire lifestyle. It's like, not to mention that they would have to be willing to do that without any pay increase or anything like that. So I don't know. I'm kind of in between the whole idea of arming the teachers. I mean, yeah, maybe some of them, but it would have to also be like they need to keep it concealed, and if they fuck up and kids will find out that they have a gun, then they should be suspended or something, or somebody else should have.
No, I understand where you're coming from, Matt Val, on that, because that's just another thing that comes into play. I mean, if it happens to get out that especially if you're in a really bad school system and a teacher's carrying, they find out which teacher is carrying. Yeah, who's to say that 5, 6 of them gang up on that teacher, jump his ass, and take the gun away, and then cause more havoc. So I don't know. It's the whole situation's tricky. I'm still not 100% on arming teachers, even though I'm for every free citizen out there to be armed. I don't know. There's a lot of things to think through on it. It really is.
And also,
this
That's
is
the
the
difference
big part of it
from
right
school
here
to school.
too, is they usually see issues prior to these things happening and nothing gets done. And then it happens, and then you hear all the stories after the fact.
Yep. And I'll throw in there also that military folks, military veterans in schools as teachers are probably more common than you might think. I know of one of our principals was in the military during the war against terror, and he's now a principal. He was a teacher when he first come back. Then he was assistant principal. Now he's a principal, and he's also a bivocational pastor at his church. So he's a good dude, man. I really like him, and I think guys like him on a security team would be pretty cool. But at the same time, you know, none of those laws have been passed in my state yet. So
Plus, the demographics of the school will play a role because it's going to be different. Some high school in a rural area in Iowa, and it's going to be different high school in the middle of Atlanta. You know, so it's like, you know, if you got high schools where actually you have gangs and whatnot, so that's going to be, there's a lot of things to consider, not just saying, oh, let's arm the teachers. I don't know
All
if
right,
that's
Rob,
I mean, definitely
what's some of your
definitely.
thoughts?
Don't you all talk
Rob,
at once?
call him Rob.
He's probably chewing on
Well,
the
yeah.
salad.
So
Hello. Sorry, I had girls gabbing in my ear. Apologize. How's it going, everybody?
good.
Good. I just want to jump in and say I think Bald's like pulling the average New Yorker crap with if they see the gun, they should suspend them and all this crap. I mean, come on now. Lots of states are open carry, and kids go out into the park, see somebody with a gun. You see a cop with a gun every day. Why don't we just normalize guns and it's not a problem? You know? Obviously, there's alternative schools where certain kids are badasses and all that. Maybe there's different protocols there, but as a whole, I say let whatever teacher that would naturally carry on their own, they should have no reason they can't defend themselves in school too. Have you seen these crazy ass kids? Half of them are crazy. Like I'd get fired my first day being a teacher. There ain't no damn way. So they should be able to protect themselves. I don't think there's any difference between going to school or going to Walmart, going to the park, going on a hike, walking around your neighborhood. People have guns. There's no difference just because you're in a school building. So let them be armed. If there's a class where they want to offer for the state or the state requires you to carry a gun, which is another debate, but if that's the thing, then that should be the only requirement necessary, at least in my opinion. So I think, an armed individual, legal armed individual, whether you're walking your dog down the street or a teacher, there should be no restrictions. You're a legal individual. At least, that's me. I understand people, classes, this and that, NDs. I mean, shit's always going to happen. Doesn't matter. We don't live in a bubble. You can wear a seatbelt, you can still die in a car crash. Smoke detectors, or your house can still burn down. We're humans. Shit's going to happen. There's never going to be perfect. But we can minimize damage. And when somebody does get crazy, we can stop the threat immediately. Immediately. Make examples out of this shit. It's suicidal to go crazy at school. That's what we want. Maybe that's not the best phrase, but you know what I mean.
I don't know, but I would question anybody who would give a New York Outcast a teacher's license.
Can't we educate our kids about how to behave themselves around firearms? Back when I was
that brings up another one, Jamie. Why don't we have that back in schools again, where it's an actual course?
right. When I was in school, we had actual shop class where you had metal shop, you had wood shop, you had electrical shop, and all these things. Nowadays, none of that stuff is going on. You have one. You have to go to the vocational high school to learn how to do construction and welding and that kind of stuff, electrical. But they used to be in every school. But these tools are deemed too dangerous for kids nowadays.
Well,
I don't
depending on where you live, you might need these tools to protect yourself from these kids nowadays, unfortunately. Yeah. Not trying to be a smartass towards you, Jamie. I'm just trying to build off on what you're saying.
Well, that's the thing, though, Rob. You can't shoot down kids in schools. It don't matter what they do. They're students and they're required to be at school. You just can't. You can't do that.
Well, if they were pointing a gun at you after threatening another student, I would like to think you could. I mean, I don't care if you're 12. If I think you're going to kill me, I'm gonna have to put you down. I mean, I would like to be able to do it without lethal force, but if it comes down to it, it's you or me. Doesn't matter that
Right.
I'm not going to stop and check your ID.
Right.
This comment right here, usually it is from family, friends, or parents, and that comes down to how they're storing their particular firearms or how and that's another issue. They don't always have the correct understanding of where they should keep them, all the rest of it. But also goes back to they should be teaching their kids, this is the way to act around this is this, and so on and so forth. So, end of the day, kind of goes back to the parents on a lot of it.
Well, never mind about
Which
storing
to
the
me
gun.
brings up a completely different argument, a completely different conversation. Does anybody on the panel believe that somebody from a school should be able to take your kid aside and ask you specifically, do your parents have firearms at home?
No.
No, I don't think so. It's none of anybody's business.
Absolutely not. But if your kid does bring a gun to school, you should be 100, 200% liable for that. End of story. It's nobody else's fault. Problem is it not just how the guns are stored, where they're stored, but the kids don't know what's right, what's wrong. Kids just don't get punished. Back in the old days, if you screwed up at school and you would come home and you would get beating at school from the teacher because you fucked up, your father would freaking beat you up again because you screwed up and you shamed his name in school. Nowadays, parents go and argue with teachers in school instead of blaming the kids.
Well, that's it. You can't even, give them a little slap on the backside anymore. They freak out about that.
Well, you can, but they do freak out about that. So that's kind of what like a miss thing. So you can legally discipline your kids.
Right.
Different states have different rules and different laws. And in New York, you can spank a kid still if it's done with a
Right.
open
One of
hand.
the big issues we see, though, is
It's all that type of stuff.
we see a lot of these.
But
we see a
CPS
lot
will
of
show
schools-
up.
Yeah, I was gonna say we see a lot of these schools going to the kids and asking were you hit? Did your parents do this, that, the other? And then, like you said, CPS shows up and
Yeah, and they want to do counseling at school, all that type of stuff, make a big deal out of normal discipline. So expect that. I truly think if you're a real parent nowadays, you're gonna have a visit with CPS due to something like that. Shit, I grounded my kid in a school called CPS on me. So eventually we just homeschooled because I got tired of the bullshit. But the actions have consequences. The sooner you learn that, the better off you are. And that's part of the problem with society. A lot of people running around there never had discipline. They've never been punched in the face. Not that you punch your kid in the face. It's just a metaphor. But so they're shocked when they act a damn fool and somebody whoops their ass. Like, don't be shocked. If I go to the bar and talk shit to people, I'm expecting to get punched in the face. That's what happens. Sorry if I'm coming in hot, guys. I don't know. I've had a hell of a week, so I don't mean anything towards anybody
You're
here or
good, man.
anything like that. Maybe the
Oh no,
coffee's
you're
got
good, dude. You're
extra
good.
caffeine or something. I don't know.
Jamie, you had the boat paddle, huh?
No, this whole if you have a kid in school, then you have to have all your, or even if you don't, anybody requiring you to have your firearms in secure storage in your domicile, and how you're to store them and everything else. I'll tell them all to go eat a bowl of dicks, because that just, you're not going to tell me how I'm going to have my firearms. Um, I've lived a number of years in many different ways and how firearms were kept in my home and kept in my domicile. When there was regular kids, a lot of kids coming to my house all the time, you best bet they weren't just sitting around. They weren't just accessible where any kid knew where they were. Yeah, of course they were fucking secured. Now I got no kids that come to my house. I got nothing else. Why would I need to have it secured in a certain fashion within my home? And why the fuck would it be the school district's business at all to be part of the regulation of that?
I agree.
Well, and
I
that
think
brings up another thing too. It's not just the school districts; it's doctors, psychiatrists, and all that stuff too. Anytime they get sent to one of them or they go to the doctor, they ask about guns.
I'd
It's
suggest
none of their business.
I'd suggest any gun owners with kids has a talk with their kids. I mean, we all know the maturity levels, this and that, on when or whatever, but and maybe your kids don't need to know everything, depending on how much they like to talk. But I know we had a talk with our kids when they were younger, but basically, stuff like that is nobody's business. It really isn't. It isn't like you're breaking the law by not answering a question or this or that. Another thing I think people should hash out with their kids is don't let these people put words in your mouth. If you don't know something, just say you don't know. Don't let them fill the blank for you, because these people they're not on your side. They're doing everything they can do to try to strip people's rights or make you seem crazy. So having a talk with your kids on keeping your business, that's fine. You're not asking them to lie. You're just not volunteering information. It's none of their business. If they have questions like that, come talk to you. That's what I'd recommend, because it's just, it's the what do they call it? Camel's nose in the tent. So once they start prying, next thing you know, there's investigations, there's counseling, there's all this type of stuff. Oh, you don't like it when you get in trouble? Well, that's not good. How does that make you feel? It turns out the one thing after another. Your dad yelled at your mom? Oh boy, nothing, no context, no nothing. Everything's just how it works for them. So careful. I mean, if you don't know,
Right.
hopefully you don't find out, because it's bullshit.
Alan knows all about camels.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was pretty, right?
Well, Alan only knows about a camel's toe.
No, and they smell just as bad as Val.
Ouch.
They like to spit on you too.
Did you ever get that dent out, or did you just leave it alone? I know you were planned on leaving it. Did you still leave it?
Who are you talking to?
Alan.
Yeah, I did a little bit of my own dent repair, but I mean, you could still see it, and I leave it. It's meh. It's a Jeep. It doesn't look right unless it's got a dent in it.
Because it's a badge of honor.
Vanessa Kitty's been out there just lighting up that side chat. Then should a parent drug test their kids? 100% abso-fucking-lutely. Yep. If you as a parent need to know, then drug test your own damn kid. Why not? Are you afraid that you're going to offend them by giving them a drug screen? You just, hey, either you're lying to me or you're not. I don't believe you. Here's a drug screen. I need to know.
Your local pharmacy will have them. A lot of times they're sales too.
Well, you don't want to become a jailer and kids hating you. So I mean, there's a fine line between all that. Like Vanessa
Well-
just talks about a female kid coming home pregnant. Again, you gotta talk to the kids. My daughter went to college. I had a chat with her and handed her a freaking pack of condoms, and I said, "Here, you 5 hours away from me. I got absolutely zero control over you. You're here to get education, not to make me a grandfather. So you know how to use
Right, and
these.
this
You
comment
have
right
a-
here is perfect too. It's 100% right. You know, we see it all the time. They're being more of their friend than being a parent.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about right there. Yeah, everybody wants to be liked. Oh, they won't talk to me or they won't respect me or whatever. That's bullshit, man. You got a freaking job. Doesn't matter if they like you. Just like all people. All people ain't great people. Some of them are shitty ass people. Well, guess what? Some of your kids are shitty ass people. That's just the way life goes. So it doesn't really matter. You know, you would like them to like you, but you still have to do your job. That's like telling your kid, you know, not telling them no when they're obese at 5 years old. Like you're fucking up. You need to, you know, harden up, save your kid's life, their back, their knees, their health, their mental stability, all this shit by telling them no now. You know, you got to do hard shit as a parent. And if you're lucky, you got a good kid and it'll turn out understanding and appreciating that later in life. And maybe you'll be friends, but you're not a friend. You're their damn parent. And that's where I think a lot of people get it twisted.
Yep.
Agreed,
absolutely,
Ramon.
100%.
Agreed.
I mean, Razor nailed it
Sorry, go ahead, Pat.
on the head. You know, number one, you gotta be involved in your kid's life. You need to know what's going on. If you're involved on daily basis, you know, don't just be a baby daddy, be a father.
Right.
Yeah.
And kind of, oh, sorry, go ahead, Bill.
I'm just saying that's where 99.9% starts, you know, with parents not being parents. You know, the father figure missing and shit like that. I mean, you go on. Or the parent, even the drugs and whatnot, usually have that with a fancy families. Parents just don't have time for their kids. You know. I mean, you decide to be a parent. That's like number one priority. Like I'm going through shit right now with the divorce and all that, and you know, my son's 23 years old, and he has a toll on him. I try to stay involved as much as possible. We both go see a therapist and talk the shit out. I talk to my daughter, you know, at least twice a week. Make sure she's good with all this shit and everything. It's just, you know, it don't matter that, you know, that you can play with your head even when you're older. And you know, at some point, yes, you got to put your foot down and whatnot, especially when they're younger. You gotta have not just love and being liked, but you gotta be respected as well.
I could just hit the nail on the head right there, Val. If you lose their respect, and I'm not mean liking or loving, I mean respect. If they don't respect you, then yeah, it doesn't matter. they're going to do whatever the hell they're going to do. But there is that fine line trying to keep that respect and everything intact and not be an a-hole at the same time too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, respect is a key point, I think. Yeah, there can be a fine line between respect and fear. And as a parent, I don't suggest, you know, the last thing I'd want is fear, you know, in a sense. It may come to that at some situations with some children or something, but respect goes a lot further than fear does. Getting people to naturally go along instead of out of fear.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean,
but
even
respect
basic
is
things
learned,
as
though.
sir and ma'am. So many kids these
Yeah.
days don't address sir and ma'am. It's just a
Yeah.
basic thing.
Respect
Oh,
is
you
learned.
hit.
So us as parents, that means, when your kids are doing right, you need to compliment them on that as well. If you screw something up, you need to admit it. You don't just, well, whatever, it's because I said so. Lead by example. And that's one thing where a lot of us, and I'm sure all of us, have been guilty at one point or another. None of us are perfect, but, show them how it's done. None of us are perfect, but how do you handle shit when you do screw something up? Don't tell your kid you're going to stick your foot up their ass if they don't quiet down, and then not be willing to literally stick your foot up their ass. Say stuff you can actually back up, and then it's not the constant back and forth banter and shit. And mean it. Maybe you screw up, but you're going to hold to what you said, and it might bite you in the ass. But do the right thing. Damn it.
Yeah, somebody stuck a foot up the Rob's ass. That's why he's so thin.
Hey man, I just killed 2 big ass burgers and a pile of chips with dip.
Holy crap, I was just about to make a comment about salads, and there you are eating burgers.
Salad was last night at Olive Garden. Dragged in a mall last night. Bought shit for the lady. Got myself a t-shirt on clearance and hit up Olive Garden, which was pretty good.
You just went to Olive Garden for the free breadsticks.
No, but I do really like the salad and breadsticks. But I thought they used to always give you Alfredo sauce with it, but with the breadsticks. But I guess they don't. Or that's not a thing now. You charge extra for it. I don't know.
Alfredo sauce with the breadsticks?
No, but I'll go to Olive Garden any day of the week. Salad and breadsticks, any day of the week on Olive Garden. I'll mow that shit all day.
Good stuff. Yeah, service was decent. Food was good. So no complaints. Way better than my local Olive Garden, where it looks like a bunch of damn bums and Crocs and freaking sweats or stretched out leggings and people yelling and acting all loud and ghetto in the background. Another guy hacking up a lung behind you and shit. And here you are trying to have a nice dinner with your lady. Like, what the hell?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's
Places
another
are going downhill.
That's another thing when you look up how the people used to dress in 50s, 60s, and how they dress now. Like nobody takes a pride in their looks anymore.
Yeah, it's so true. Like if I end up single, I'm gonna have a hell of a time. All this sweatpants and Croc shit just don't do it for me. It just don't do it, man.
Definitely don't end up going looking for a woman at Walmart then. or anywhere in Iowa. Yeah, I don't know when it got completely acceptable to just walk around in your pajamas all day.
Right.
I don't know when that got completely acceptable, but
like they just quit, man. They gave up or something. I don't know, but if you're willing to walk around downtown like that in public, good Lord, what the hell are you doing at home? Do you ever clean your house? You wash your dishes, brush your teeth, anything?
That's hilarious, Dad. It's true.
Yeah, Bama. It depends on the butt, though. Some of that looks good.
I was just saying, it's amazing how far you can stretch spandex.
Hey, look, sometimes when I'm at the gym and I look for extra motivation, You know, that's where my eyes wander.
You see, though, that's
gotta
the
know.
thing. You're actually at the gym. You know how many women wear yoga pants that have never done yoga?
And you know how many men do not care?
80%. 5%. Or 95%.
Yeah. So
I do think it's funny though when you see chicks like that where you know they don't work out and shit, but they wear that workout stuff all the time. Yeah, it tells you something though. You know, they're kind of superficial. They're all about their looks and stuff. So you know, it can give you ammunition depending on what you're doing.
no, the best thing is when
All,
you go
lots
to
of things
gym.
tell you stuff about people. You know,
The best thing is when you go to gym and you see the girl in a designer workout clothes and a freaking full blown makeup and everything. And then God forbid you actually look at her butt, she gets offended. I'm like, hey, you know, you stick it out there. I'm gonna look.
Well, we've gotten a long ways away from that topic, haven't we? We went from teachers in school with guns to staring at yoga pants. But I love it. Rabbit holes. Rabbit
Maybe
holes all
you're
day.
here, Pat. Off another shit show.
It could be
No,
worse.
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I love it. I love going on a tangent or just going clear left or clear right or up, down, sideways or I love it.
got a question, Bald. Since you're the gym guy now, is a gym rat? You know, somebody hangs out at the gym all the time in their free time. Is that any different than a bar fly nowadays? Somebody that hangs out at the bar all the time. Is it ideal to meet a chick at the gym when her normal thing is to go out in spandex and with the camel toe and all that shit, bending over in front of other guys all day? Is that something you're in? Is that, you know, is that a good thing?
Are you're asking the wrong guy. I go to gym, I spend an hour and a half, sometimes two at the most, between a cardio and a workout. Here and there I look at a nice butt and that's about it. I don't really go there to meet anybody. 99% of the time I just want to be left the fuck alone, do my workout and that's it.
So
I mean,
you haven't had any
I do meet people. I talk to people here and there. You know, like you see guy that you know is like pretty little older but in a decent shape, really good shape. Whatever you start talking to them, and the guy all of a sudden tells you he's 75 years old, and he looks 60. That shit blows you away. But as far as the girls go, yeah, most of these girls that go to gym, they don't go there to work out. They just go show off.
They're working on their MRS degree.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what that is, but it sounds good.
Think about it.
I gotta write it down. MRS. Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah,
Should
Rob.
somebody start singing the Jeopardy theme? They're,
I had to write it down to actually understand what he meant. Come on, English is my second language. You gotta cut me some slack.
They're looking for a husband, Val.
I get it. Once I wrote it down, I understood that. You know, it took me a second. Come on, give me a break.
All right, Alan, we're about halfway through. We got some good folks out there. You want to run through the side chat?
oh man, it has been hopping over there. Abigail out there been tearing it up. Vanessa Kitty really be tearing it up. Anna Lee Brown, Bama Dad, Dwayne out there, Gizzard Gary, Tactical Rabbit 308, Uncle Jim. And it's been rolling really, really well. There's M. Gabriel was out there, Razor JB, that one person that I failed to greet when we first came in Tactical Fud as well, also That one person that I failed to greet at the beginning of the chat, the YouTube auditor. Go eat a bowl of dicks. Yes, Gary. Pants are definitely optional. As you notice, we have just shoulders up views typically. And so, yes, pants are definitely optional with as many as hen houses as you've ran. I kind of figured that that was kind of an unspoken rule already with the foul territory.
So I remember somebody once saying that if you're going to be live on the internet, you should probably have your pants on.
Or at least your camera off. Unless you're trying to make money. But I think there's different for that.
I've been one to actually say that before. If you're going to be live on the internet, you should probably have pants on.
Yeah, that'd be kind of hard to do for me right now because I'm outside.
That chat was a few years back now, but yeah, someone still has that recording.
Well, he could have shorts on, could have short pants on, like Rick. Could have joggers because I don't understand it, but I've seen men wearing those joggers now. I think they're called. Or am I saying that right? I think so. Yeah, the short pants, capris. That's what I'm talking about. Capri. What the hell are men doing wearing capris? What is this shit? Are these CZ guys? What's going on here?
No. These are the same individuals that will grow their hair out long and put it into a man bun. I think they're purposely just trying to really piss off their dead grandfathers.
Something seems a little strange. I mean, just seems strange. Like, it doesn't look like they're trying to pretend they're girls or something. They're just regular dudes wearing capris.
Yeah. And it started with joggers and then it went to capris. It's like, what the hell is on your legs? Did you?
And a lot of them
wash
will
them
throw
wrong?
long socks on
I mean,
with
I
it
can
too.
understand
Like,
if you
what the
washed it
hell?
wrong.
Maybe we're
Man
just
card
getting.
automatically revoked.
Oh, well, okay. Why do men, when it gets cold, they will be in a hat and a winter coat and still be wearing freaking shorts? Most of those guys were raised in California. Most of those guys were raised in California, and as long as the upper body's warm, they're fine.
Or they all got diabetes and can't feel anything below the knee anyway.
Hey, doesn't G23 always wear freaking shorts?
Think so. Shorts, Birkin socks, or birthing socks. I don't know. I'm not sure how to say it. Those funky sandals. Turn your feet all black. You got white people looking like they got black feet and shit. Jesus.
Birkenstocks.
Then you got all the black guys running around with slides and dirty socks. Yeah, the world's going to shit, folks.
Yeah, the world's been going to shit over the last 50 years. And it just sped up over the last 20.
Now it's really
I
going to
don't
shit,
know.
though.
I don't know.
It's not. Sorry, I mean, I was gonna say it's not just like our parents. That every
anybody on the
generation.
panel has anybody on the panel had their brother eaten by a cannibal?
No, it was uncle, wasn't it? Not brother.
No.
No.
Yeah, I saw the meme.
Yeah, any one of your family relations. Did any one of your family relations get eaten by a cannibal?
None recent.
Negative.
Boy, I bet at this point they're really scrambling. They're really scrambling, going, there's no way that we're going to be able to convince people that the mass of America actually voted for this fucker. They've got to be scrambling, trying to figure out what they're going to do.
Nah, people really are that freaking stupid. I got a customer. He's about the same age as my mom. Now in his 70s, and we talk. And I always say he's like an old school Democrat that at least you can have a conversation with him. But we start talking, and I tell him, like, Tom, I mean, talking to you, it's like watching fucking CNN. Like, we start talking about the homeless in California, and it didn't make any fucking sense what he's saying. Then we start talking about Ukraine, and same thing. I'm like, dude, you gotta stop watching the CNN and reading the New York Post. Oh, what do you know? I'm like, well, I do know. I grew up fucking 30 miles from the goddamn Ukrainian border. I've been there, quite a bit of times. Like, you don't even know where the Ukraine is on the map. So yeah, I do know a lot more than you. And whatever you're saying, it's not true. People are just, some people are just fucking brainwashed. And meantime, this guy's lifelong Democrat. The first thing he tells you, yeah, the politicians are corrupt. The New York City sucks. It's not like when I grew up over there. I'm like, yeah, because you keep voting for the same shit. And you see it's not working. And then he hates Trump. But when you ask him, well, give us specific. Why? Why are you not going to vote for him? Why you hate him? Why? And he repeats the same fucking shit you hear on CNN. I just watched the video from some New Yorker got charged in Florida for keying somebody's car because they had like a Trump sticker or "Let's Go Brandon" sticker or some shit like that, and they actually arrested his ass and charged him with a felony.
Good.
It was over $1,000.
Good. You should. Like, you mess with somebody's stuff like that. Yeah, you should. I don't like the fact that the cops are like, yeah, you'll be out tomorrow. Like, I don't know, man. You're just, it's a felony because of the value. Why is the guy going to be out tomorrow? I mean, that's the problem.
He's going to be out tomorrow because he's going to be on a bond.
Yeah, I know. But it's just, I don't know, man. Don't fuck with people's stuff. It's that simple. You know what I mean? It's, people work hard for their shit. Just because you're pissed off about a bumper sticker, that's, I don't know. I'd be pissed myself. So we should have harder crimes, not harder crime, but punishments and shit.
Well, we don't have a harder punishments for beating up the cops. So how the hell do you want a harder punishment for somebody keying the car? That ain't gonna happen.
It's because we need somebody with some kahunas around here. You know what I'm saying?
All I know is I want to get the fuck out of New York one way or the other. I can care less about the state. I hate this fucking state with a passion. I just want to get the fuck out. The sooner the better. I need this shit to be over so I can pack my crap and leave. I'm going to have a big sign on the back of my truck that says, fuck you, Hochul, when I'm leaving this state.
You any closer to getting out yet?
Complicated, but I am working on relocating to PA in the meantime.
Bama Dad's got a good question for you.
I was young and stupid, pretty much. And once you got the roots down, it's kind of hard to move. Yeah, there you go, Tactical Rabbit, Tennessee. That's the plan. That's the long-term goal. Yeah, PA is not a huge improvement, but it's better. Anything's better than New York.
Oh, PA is definitely better. I'm not going to say it's complete night and difference, but for an example, to get a pistol permit in PA, it'll take you like 10 minutes and $20. And you walk out with your ID.
I already got
one. Obviously, ideally, you wouldn't need a permit, but compared to New York, where it's going to take you 6, 8 months, a year, hundreds of dollars, classes, all types of other stuff, that's night and day difference. Less restrictions, way less in PA as far as firearms, what you can own. If you're from New York and go into a PA gun shop, your jaw drops because you're like, oh my God, there's a lot of advantages. The schools can be a little dicey, but that's like that everywhere, unfortunately, because New York's attached to PA. There is a bunch of areas in PA where they're starting to lean the wrong way, and have been for a little while now. So, but at least the general outcome is still way better off than New York. So we'll state that. So that's PA does have that, and their taxes are less. So, more freedoms. They take less money. You have more rights on your own land. There's some benefits.
Bama Dad had a question out there asking about why, always wondered why people moving here move to the bigger cities. I think a lot of that is kind of what you see on TV and stuff. And then, it's kind of where people go, and then they wake up and realize and get the hell out.
Yeah, I didn't move to New York City. I never lived in New York City. I never did, never will, never. I would never even consider living in the city. So I kind of came upstate about an hour and a half from the city. That's where I kind of settled in, and then after maybe 10 years, I moved up where I'm now. But which is quite a bit of step up from the city. It's fairly pro-gun county. It's semi as free as you can be in New York, but New York itself is a beautiful state. If it wasn't for the New York City and maybe one or two other counties, it wouldn't be democratic.
So keep in mind, a lot of people coming from other countries, they get probably a lot more propaganda too. So, the bigger cities have the bigger funding, the programs that do different things. So, in some senses, people probably don't know what they don't know until you get here and actually see how things work.
It's the money issues too, because you make a lot more money in New York, but it's an illusion because you make a lot more money, but you also spend a lot more money. So you can make $1 million, but if you spend 999,000 of it, then you only save $1,000. If you make 20,000 and you spend 10, then you save 10,000.
Does cost more. If you look at the maps on if you're looking at relocation or coming to the U.S., it seems to be the East Coast is the most money. But in general, the coast itself, around the coast, seems to be where, East Coast, West Coast, where your higher incomes come in. So this further towards the center, the lower incomes, lower cost of living. So, that's something to consider if you're used to one thing or another. So now, as Bald says, as you're here, everything you make more and they tax you more and take more. Yes, 100%. Now, say you just went from here to Georgia and compared it, I'm not exactly sure if it truly busts out even. You know, you make less, you pay less. You know, I think between different states and taxes and maybe what you go for, you know, you got to consider insurances. There's a lot of even a gallon of milk, gas. You got to add it all up. It's a life, you know, a lifestyle is a lot of damn money. But maybe it's to your advantage, maybe it's not. I don't know. I think that's debatable and probably different for every individual.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of these places, like even Tennessee's going more blue, and that's because of the bigger cities. You know, they're taking over essentially.
Yeah, whenever you get a dense population, it tends to turn democratic because they hand out more free shit, and that's why people go in there. People that want to have more freedom, they tend to move into rural areas. They want to be away from the people. They want to have their 2-3 acres, and peace and quiet.
Oh, I think we're in a bad situation as a whole. I mean, they tell you, if we go by the numbers, you know, by majority rules, it could be a bad thing because the majority could have a bad intention, be misinformed, be misguided, whatever, and then forces the minority into check or whatever. So they tell us obviously that's a problem, and can be a problem, but yet now it seems like we don't have any recourse, and the cities are taking, basically taking everything. And what do we get left with? What's our recourse on it? I mean, New York City, Buffalo, Rochester, they're a small part of the whole of the state. When you talk land mass and stuff, they're literally almost nothing compared to the rest of the state. Things are totally different in the rest of the state. So why should they get all the funding? Why should they make the decisions? Yeah, I don't know. We seem to be in a funny spot, and whenever we try to correct something, lately our representatives don't seem to give a shit, or they're fighting for the other team. So, what do we do, man? What do we do?
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. Is many of them, and it's not recently. It's been a long time that they haven't given a shit. It's all about them, not about us. Pops is saying that they're having the whole fucking North move there in South Carolina. I did see a positive thing for South Carolina. South Carolina governor signed in open carry. We're seeing more and more positive things come out. But you don't see a whole lot. You don't hear a whole lot of it in the news because they always crush it and push the bullshit.
Seems like Constitution's supposed to keep a lot of this stuff in check, but yet it's not.
Yeah. Well, the Constitution is supposed to protect individual rights, because that's what this country was built upon: individual, not as a collective.
Right. But our rights are kind of being screwed with, and like I said, what recourse are we having for this besides court cases that they may or may not decide to take, that may happen in 10 years, 5 years, whatever the case, or may get cleared, and then all of a sudden, what is it? Somebody appeals, or it goes and gets held up. I mean, yeah, it's supposed to be America, man. It's supposed to be the country where they claim, 10 guilty can go free, not to convict one innocent. But things are not how they told us.
Nah, this shit is gone. Now you're guilty until proven innocent. 100%. All the other shit is not true.
I want a history teacher.
Yeah, well, it doesn't seem like you're so much convicted by a court of your peers as it is the court of public opinion anymore. and people caving into that pressure of all that. It's like, oh, I don't want them to not like me, so I better go their way on the court of public opinion.
No,
So,
never mind. Never mind that shit. Legally, you can get fucked before you're even convicted of the crime in the court. Try to get charged with a felony, and even before you get convicted in the court by the felony, try to leave the country or come back into the country, and you'll see. So all that, innocent until proven guilty went out the fucking window.
Well, and Fuzzy makes a good point too, because we've seen it here lately as well with the recent votes. They've bypassed the 72-hour rule and just gone right to it. And it's always on a weekend, always on a Saturday. That's early in the morning.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. I mean, we brought it up earlier, but it goes like the CPS thing. One accusation, and what happens? You got an investigator showing up before your kid comes home. Is there any evidence of anything? Anything? It's just one statement, or somebody claims you did something to them. You're getting picked up, hauled in. Is there any proof? Any evidence? Nothing. Yeah. So a lot of these cases, like certain things, like, if it's bullshit, you got a good chance of beating it. But most people, I think 70, 80, some odd percent of people, most people take a deal, whether it's a speeding ticket, whatever the hell it is, parking violation, they take a deal. If you aren't guilty, don't take the deal, man. Everybody's got to make their own choice, but they have to prove that you did whatever the hell they're claiming you did. And most of the time, they can't do it.
You take the deal because otherwise you're gonna be financially ruined if you go to.
That's the thing. But I tell you, I've been in court a dozen times, mainly traffic stuff, and they can never prove it. They can't prove how loud my exhaust was from stock. They can't prove a bunch. They don't have the proof, like the speed, like they can't prove it. They just assumed you were
a lot of
going
times too,
for you to
especially
admit it.
A lot of times too, especially with like the traffic stuff you're talking about, the cops don't show up, so then they have nothing.
Yeah, that shit is done for in New York State, especially if you get pulled over by the state trooper. Cops don't have to show up. You're dealing with the DA. So that went out the window. And in a state like New York, 9 out of 10 times, cop don't even have to have a fucking radar or nothing. He can guesstimate and testify that he's trained for that, and he estimated your speed be between this and this, and that's all they really need to convict you. I mean, obviously it goes different county to county, town to town, shit like that. But most of the states it's gonna be like that, and it's a matter of simple economics. You're gonna go to court again with a lawyer or whatever, spend X amount of time, or you rather just take the deal and pay a parking ticket fine and be it over with,
Well, see, they bullshitted you, man. I'm telling you, you sound like the DA that tells you all that shit right before you go in, and they're like, I don't know how I can prove it, and the judge dismisses it, and you don't even have a court fee. Because I'm telling you, I've done this. I got a witness right here. Like I've done this, so I'm not stating that you should try to get out of everything, but if something's bullshit, like you screw up, admit it, be a man. But when they try to hit you with bullshit, man, don't just plead to shit. That's retarded. Like I don't care if you gotta go to jail for a while. Like that's your name.
Real
man.
Quick, Pat's got to jump off. So Pat, we appreciate you coming on, man. Anything you want to plug before you jump off?
Just trying to get some videos out. It's been too dang windy and too dang busy here as of late, but probably should have shot a video today, but I was hanging out with kids and everything, so I really wanted to hang out with him today. I've been super busy, so but other than that, no, just go check out everybody's channel. Great side chat out there. Topic to topic. So I got to learn to keep my head on a swivel on this podcast for sure. So, but anyway, thank you, Scotsman. Appreciate it. And good night to y'all. Have a good one.
Take it easy.
Bye, Pat.
Take it easy, Pat.
Take care.
This show is like a box of
Yeah, I think we got
chocolates. You never know
for a
what
little
you're
bit
gonna
of a
get.
loop. That's it.
Any of you got a comprehension how much $1 trillion is?
It's 1,000 billion.
You know what that means? So in a layman's term, if you're born and you spend $1 million every fucking day, you would not spend it in your lifetime.
I'm just
I
thinking
call
about
bullshit,
how much ramen. How much ramen could you get for that kind of money?
For $1 million a day, you could get an exosuit to start off with, nanobots after a little while, probably, and then for sure life extension. If you got $1 million a day, I'm telling you, it can happen. So you would probably outlive that money.
Now, let me ask
At
you
least
this.
your brain in a jar would.
Now, what happens with like we are as a country, we are in debt, right? So who do we owe that money? Who do we owe it to? To China, to whoever? Like how the hell are they gonna enforce getting that money back? Somebody explain me that shit.
How much money do you really owe? Because what's the value of it anymore? We're not on a gold standard. So if they just keep printing it and printing it and printing it, what is it really?
Can I say something? If you've got $1 billion and you want to buy ramen, please send me the money. I'll show you how to. I mean, seriously,
You
folks.
ain't wrong there. You ain't wrong there. I mean, you could just buy the entire factory, keep on going.
No, man. If I had $1 billion, first thing I'd do would be to buy a primer factory or build one.
I don't know. I think you might be surprised, man. I don't know of billionaires, but some of the richest people I've known that are truly got money are cheap sons of bitches that you would never suspect. Their kids live like freaking rock stars and shit, but them themselves, they're wearing clothes that are rattier than yours, probably. Like, it's amazing. They just don't spend money like that. Those are the people I've seen.
The man that came up with Walmart drove an old beat up pickup truck until the day he died. Every day he commuted in his old beat up column shift pickup truck.
Well, that's how they accumulate wealth, is not by throwing money away. The number one vehicle owned by millionaires in the United States of America is a Ford F-150 pickup truck.
That's some shit.
I don't know. I do love my Prius.
Yeah, they're decent cars, man. They really are. Like I said, I've worked on a couple, and they seem to do all right. So, there's obviously some differences or whatever, but nothing too bad. So, but the people I've known with them over 10 years, they're still loving them, buying a new one, driving it. So they prefer it on long trips, saying it's more comfortable than their other vehicles. He just bought it for ramming around for work, basically, but now they use it for all their long trips, stuff like that as well. Not the coolest vehicle, but depends what you value in life,
Well, at least it's not a Subaru.
Hey, man. Come on. Come on. My car ain't bad. You know it. It ain't bad.
Is that a 89 Subaru Outback?
Oh, come on, no. Robbie stepped it up to 2008 Cross Tag or whatever the fuck that is.
Outback Sport.
There you go.
Hey, man, I don't have any regrets so far. It's been pretty good for a used car. Yeah, that most people would have traded in 2 cars ago, probably. So, it's been pretty good. Everybody loves it. Great in the snow. Fun to drive. Yeah, it's no problems. I'm liking it. I mean, I've had little stuff. Like I just did a video today where I was a dumbass and I planned on changing all the speakers all around, and I did a set a while ago, and basically it's been so long I forgot what I did, front or rear, and I ended up popping the rear apart thinking it was the rear, broke a damn piece of the door panel thing, the little triangle piece that goes on top. Yeah, I took it all apart and come to find out that's the one I already took apart and replaced. So I didn't even have to take that off anyway. So stupid shit, fool's tax. But yeah, so I still got to throw those in the front. But little things, and unlike that, but the speakers that are in there aren't bad. I just want better shit. I've already upgraded the back, the rear, and so now that's all that's left. I just haven't had the time to do it.
Bama Dad, the reason why Priuses are shaped like they are in the back isn't for aerodynamics. It's so that you can just go over them with your F-150.
Nah, I get the fuck out of the way. I mean, one thing that I could negative about the Prius is it's so fucking small, opposed to my 3500 Ram. Like I'm not. I see a car behind me, from distance, speeding or coming at me. I'm moving the fuck out of the way. And when I'm next to Sam,
well, yeah, and going from a big ass truck like that to that little tiny car, it's like driving a little go-kart, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I can literally load the Prius in the back of my pickup truck. But you know what? It does get 45 miles to a gallon, so
I think people look at them wrong. People look at them, they think like, oh, little wimpy girl's car or whatever. But if you really think, I mean, you might come away thinking smart, probably isn't broke, probably isn't on welfare, probably has a job, understands the value of money, can actually go hang out on the weekend because he's not dead broke and in debt for paying for an expensive vehicle. There's a lot more to it. It just depends how you look at things.
And is either very secure in his manhood or is displaying how gay he is.
True. It's a 50-50, but the pants come off, they know the deal.
You should go and watch my latest short video, slow motion of me and my son getting out of the Prius.
Well, Big Al's got one too, and he calls it his tactical Prius. So I'm pretty sure he's secure. He's had his for a long time.
You should have it wrapped in like real tree camo vinyl.
Or maybe put a racing stripe down the middle.
I laugh at those guys with the big jacked up truck that never see dirt. Yeah, they got $2,000 tires on there, $6,000 rims, and the girlfriend can barely get in a damn vehicle. It's unpractical. You don't use the bed. You just drive around and park it at the work parking lot. Like, I laugh at those people. Like, that's like, I always say, like, that dude's got to be like 4 foot tall. Like, he might actually be 6 foot, whatever, but on the inside, he's like a 4 foot tall dude. Like, compensating to the max.
Oh, come
Yeah,
on. You
out here I call those Brokeback Cadillacs. And yeah, the wheels just sticking all hella out. They've got lights all over the dang thing, just like it's lit up like a Christmas tree. They got more chrome than they know what to do with. It's just like even out here, you don't take that thing on a gravel road. It's like, come on, what is the point of that?
They'd
You
get
guys,
stuck in like a wet grass field. Laughable. Your grandma's front wheel drive would drive through that shit, but they'll be stuck there getting their tires dirty.
you guys need more important shit to worry about. I see truck like that, I go like, cool truck, and go about my business. I can care less. Yeah, I don't give a flying fuck. Literally. You know what? The guy's
I
got a
like
lot
to
of money.
point and laugh at those guys.
The guy's got a lot of money. He wants to put it in his truck, so be it. You know, it's like somebody laughing at you because you put $5,000 into your handgun or into your AR or something. You know what? It's a hobby. You know,
Yeah, but
you want to spend it on a truck? Knock yourself out. It's a free fucking country.
I don't know. It's I guess everybody, yeah, you got your freedom. Maybe you want to collect 5,000 guns or something. I don't know, but yeah, it just seems like a damn waste of money for an ego trip, is what it seems like. Plus, more of a hassle to park. Parking garages. They're a bitch with a regular truck with a rack. It's just if you don't need it, it's just not practical. That's where it's just not a smart thing. I don't know. But hey, everybody's got the right to do what they want to do. If you want to run down the road and it feels like you're on railroad tracks and you're just burning money up for the hell of it on the highway all day, you keep using those mud tires on the road. Do your thing. Yeah. The thing is, you can't buy cool. You either are or you aren't.
And sorry, but that whole squatting thing with trucks, there's no place in the world where that's cool.
Yeah, I never understood that, but that's a down south. It's not none of that shit ever made it to New York. I was down to Carolina. That's what I saw it the first time. I'm like, what the hell is this all about? Like, you got a hard time seeing over the hood of the truck as it is. Now you're going to point it another 10, 15 degrees to the sky. It's like, you can't see nothing 30 feet in front of your truck.
Yeah, here like the thing is all jacked up, trucks with neon lights everywhere, and if it's chrome, they'll find a place to bolt it on, that type of thing. You know what I mean? They don't even know what the hell it is. They just it's shiny, put it on the truck. That's basically what they do around here.
Yeah, not me. My truck's stock. I put the freaking tonneau cover and toolbox. It's a work truck. End of story. And the reason why most of the trucks are so expensive is because people start using them as a souped-up SUVs. Now you can't even buy a regular truck for less than $50,000.
Pissed about that Toyota truck that it came out. They got it overseas, but they're not trying to release it in the U.S. Blah blah blah. They don't feel there's a spot in our market, which is code for they think they can get more money because we're stupid. And as a whole, I think we are kind of stupid. Unless your truck's making you money, it shouldn't cost half as much as a house when it's going to be. They're expecting it to be in a junkyard in 7 years. So I just think that's ridiculous. But they had a pickup truck that's one of those ones you can get it with 2-3 different bodies, and it's I think it was like $10,000 brand new. and it's already in use. You know, it's a small pickup. Don't get me wrong. Not saying it's the best truck out there, going to pull this, do all that shit, but it's a basic truck for the average small business guy for 10 grand, brand new with a warranty. But of course,
Hey,
we don't
hey,
have a
look,
market
you,
for that here. We got to pay 45 to start.
Yeah, and all these they're not even mini trucks anymore. They're micro trucks that they use all over the globe, but you can't sell them here in the United States because of all the different safety regulations and whatnot. They just don't fit into the safety regulations at all. They fit into the mile per gallon footprint and everything else that auto manufacturers are dictated to, which is why we're losing so many vehicles that actually have a decent amount of power and can haul your family. But yeah, a bunch of manufacturers have come out with those micro trucks that basically it could be you and your woman just riding around town. You need to go get a couple of bags of fertilizer or whatever. Yeah, it's going to be just fine. And yeah, $10,000. Sure, this thing isn't going to make 150,000 miles, but it might.
The one Toyota
you bring up a good point. You know, they're the amount of regulations are getting worse and worse and worse, and they're trying to push all the EV stuff, which we've seen the EV. Obviously, we know takes a whole lot more to build them. Doesn't really do it to save the freaking planet, and you know, it's just ridiculous.
Agree with that. The one Toyota had coming out, I can't speak for regulations, all that. I didn't get all those details, but I can give you a general idea of the size. It was about the size of a Ford Ranger or an old Nissan, Datsun pickup or something like that. So it was, the small truck, but I wouldn't call it a micro or mini. It wouldn't look out of place on American roads. Now, is the glass the right glass and the tail lights and all that shit? I got no idea. That I got no clue. I do know if I could get a new truck for 10 grand, I'd probably have a new truck. I wouldn't get rid of my old truck because I can carry more, it's a bigger truck, but I would probably have a new truck sitting in my driveway if I could pick one up for 10 grand that I got to choose the body style that went on it as well with a warranty. Come on.
Well, tell you what, you make it 40 grand and I'll give you my 3,500.
You give me 40 grand and I'll take that off your hands.
No, other way around.
Oh, hell no. You want me to pay for a Dodge? Not today.
It's not a Dodge, it's a Ram. It's better than
That's
Ford.
not any better.
It's a Dodge. Hey, can I say a couple of things?
No.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask.
Hey,
fire away, Jamie.
Back to guns. You bullet casters. NOE Bullet Mold has they have a sale every week. This week is a 357 38 special mold. It's the 360 152 semi wad cutter version 5. You can get it in plain base or gas checked. Aero Precision is having a 15% off complete uppers sale. And I know they're high, but you get 15% off. So if you're in the market for an Aero Precision upper, that sale ends at midnight, I think, tonight. But they have quite a few selections. And am I the only one who gets bombarded with Bear Creek Arsenal emails? And does anybody have any experience with Bear Creek? I hear great things and I hear really bad things. There seems to be no in between. But Yeah, every time I go on their website and look at something for the next week or two, I'm bombarded with ridiculous numbers of emails.
Oh yeah, right away. If you look at a product and you click off of it, you'll get an email. Hey, were you still interested in this? Yeah, it happens all the time, man. They're one of the worst ones for it. As far as their product goes, they're hit and miss. We've seen that quite a bit over the years. They're hit and miss. But I will say the customer service is pretty dang good. So if you do get one that's not quite right, they're usually pretty good about taking care of stuff.
What do we think about the BC 101, the Bear Creek Arsenal Grizzly 9mm handgun? Is that another Gen 3 clone like everything else that's coming out? Don't know.
I haven't looked at it. I'm not sure.
Bama Dad, it's CW's fault. He's been talking a lot about 22 Magnums, and Bear Creek has a 22 Magnum upper. And I got an email for it, and I clicked on it to go look at it, and now, yeah, so there's that. But yeah, CW loves that 22 Magnum stuff, and it's pretty cool. And I hope y'all saw his video about the Ruger Precision rimfire that he bought used. There's 6-shooter Texan. What's up, bud? That's cool, Steve. Back when he liked guns.
Yeah, when we got the complete uppers for the Mr. Holster giveaway years ago, they for the fundraiser, I didn't hear any issues from any of the guys that won. So there's that.
So they have left-handed receivers, and my hunting buddy shoots left-handed, and so I was thinking about getting some of their receivers and building him a 350 Legend. So thinking about just trying to see if they've got a 350 Legend upper left-handed, and just, I mean, that stuff's cheap. If it's good and it shoots straight, that might be the way to go rather than buying up the parts and putting it together yourself. But anyway, I just wanted to share that NOE mold looks pretty good if you like shooting 38 357 with semi-wide cutter.
Do semi-wide cutters
When it comes to buying either a complete or building it yourself, I'm always going to say build it yourself, just because you have more options as far as parts and pieces. But when you get a complete one, you're probably going to end up changing stuff anyway. So why not just build it right from the get-go?
Good point.
Hey, Jamie, do semi-wide cutters feed with the lever actions?
Yes, sir.
Just curious.
Mine did. And my new one did too, didn't it, Scotsman? Didn't it? Wasn't those semi-wide cutters you were shooting, the 44 special loads?
Yeah. Yep. And they shot fine. Had no problems whatsoever. Right on the money.
That's a good load. I'm going to load some more of those.
Yeah, both your Magnum load and your special load, they were shooting right on the money.
Well, generally, semi-wide cutter is going to be pretty accurate. That's what the targeting guy.
Well, and the nice thing with the specials that they loaded up too, they were super smooth. There was none of that marlin issue on the action. It was literally real smooth. The Magnums had that issue, but the specials were super easy, super smooth, no issues whatsoever as far as drag or anything like that.
Buzz, Daniel had an appointment to get a mani-pedi. I don't know. I hope he's okay. Seriously.
Bama Dad, yes, I've built a couple of AR-10s. I got one in 6.5 Creedmoor and one in 243.
And they are different than AR-15s for sure, Bama Dad. You got to figure out what protocol, what set of standards you're going to go by. What are the two? You got one that's DPMS, and then the other, I don't remember what they call the other one.
There's two different heights as far as handguards and stuff go. One is the DPMS, and then the other one, I don't remember the name of it either, but it's lower than the DPMS. DPMS is higher, and that will make a difference.
CW, I was trying. Absolutely. You got to do your research on that stuff. CW, I was just trying to make a joke at Fuzz asking Daniel's okay. I'm hoping he's okay. I'm thinking he's fine. But,
Okay, where the hell is the expiration date on the MRE? Because I'm looking at the goddamn package. I don't see anything.
It's nothing on
Most
like
of
the
those-
where it's
Most of those are going to say 25 plus, but they don't have an actual expiration on them. Usually,
I think the cases themselves are marked for sure. I know some of the aftermarket ones, I don't know, because some companies that sell them to the public also sell them to the military or vice versa and whatnot. So I think might be a print thing somewhere on there where it's heat sealed. Is there anything there? Might not even be like lettering, just dimples in it.
And I don't see anything. But
Yeah, it's embossed. It's not printed. It's embossed.
But sealed like this, that should be good forever. I don't know.
You're gonna look down towards the bottom of the package, and you'll see numbers embossed down in the bottom. But I mean, that doesn't give you an actual expiration date. It's more of a born on date.
Dude, if you're hungry enough to eat it, you don't care. Come on now.
I just want to try it.
I made my own MREs for a while. Like I need to do it again because I wiped out my last supply using them for work and stuff. But they're not. It's not cheaper, but you can tailor make. You know.
All the way down on the bottom where the shrink is, and I know my camera ain't gonna pick it up, but there's an embossed numbers down here.
Nah, this ain't got nothing. I run my finger through it. There ain't nothing here. No numbers, nothing. Zero, zilch. Well, maybe I'll take it down on the camping trip in South Carolina.
I think they're great for camping, shit like that. Or if you're working out of town, don't want to spend your evening at the restaurant bar, dodging landmines, blowing most of your paycheck. Go back to your hotel room, munch on that shit, get your ass to sleep, be an all-star at work, continue on, stuff like that. That's how I've used them in the past a lot. Or camping, even something in a bag when you're hiking. If something happens, you get stuck somewhere, they come in handy. I think.
Well, I got a whole
The
package.
one that I had for dinner tonight, had a bag of Skittles in it, and the expiration date on the
Nice.
Skittles was November of 20.
Yeah, so that's still good.
They're good, man. They're good.
And you've been
No, I
seeing,
got
and you've been seeing me eat them throughout the show. It's
Yeah, but you also said you're sick, so you probably got no taste.
Skittles don't go bad, man.
I got the Wise food packets, and that's like a dehydrated food. All you do is boil some water, put it in there, and I had that stuff on occasion. That's pretty good, actually.
So when are you heading to South Carolina?
Thursday, hopefully. That's the plan. Supposed to go to my sister's house. I'm gonna leave early morning on Thursday from PA, so I should be there by probably 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then coming back, the plan is I'm gonna spend a couple hours in the Johnson City, Tennessee, because that's kind of what I'm thinking, relocating. So I was just gonna kind of get my feel for the town, see if I like the town, maybe go look at a couple of Zillow houses, just kind of see the neighborhood and what's what. And then maybe another month or two from now, I would go down there for a weekend.
Is that in the Nashville area?
No, it's probably hour and a half northeast of Knoxville. It's
Right
more
below
like,
the mountains, right on the edge of the mountains. So.
yeah, it's right on the pretty much borderline with North Carolina.
If you got the time, I'd say go out to eat because you can read people pretty well there, get an idea. You know, depending on day, maybe stop by the local sheriff's department, talk to them about the local firearm laws, just to get a feel for what they say. You're considering moving to the area. And if you're going to do a business, you know, see if you can stop down. Are you going on the weekend?
No, I'll be there Monday, but I'm more interested in just, there's a couple of houses I got picked up from Zillow. I just want to see the neighborhood.
Maybe stop by the town hall or county clerk or whatever, and you know you can ask some questions, figure out if they got anything on taxes, shit like that, because everything's going to be different from what you know. Normal isn't going to be the same there with some of the stuff. So that way you have a good idea if you're going to try to transfer a business, start a business. Do you need licenses required? So there's a lot of good questions you can figure out just in a short visit and get a good
shit like that. I already know. You can get the shit online, the license and whatnot.
What they tell you online and what's local can be two different things, and I've seen that with PA permits. So you know, that's why if you're there, you know, get it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
You know, do what you want to do. I'm just saying, get the best bang for your buck if you're serious. So you don't get there and shit, 2 years later you leave. You know, do your homework.
That's way up there in northeast Tennessee, close to Bristol.
We'll start going through the room. It's getting to that time. We'll start with Rob. What you got, man?
Nothing much. A couple shorts I threw up recently. Yeah, nothing fantastic. Although one of them might hold the meaning of life, but I can't remember at the moment. Other than that, I think there was winning lotto tickets and another one. Anyway, thanks for the invite. I appreciate it. Sorry I came in here like a raging bull, hopped up on caffeine or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. So please don't take it like I'm harping on anybody in here, especially Jamie. You know, Jamie's cool. He thinks I don't like him, but I do. So
you're good, man.
Yeah. Ball's the asshole. He's the only one in here you got to be watching out for. So other than that, thank you very much. I appreciate the invite. Have a great evening.
Absolutely. Always good having you on. Bald, what you got?
Itchy nose. I got itchy nose for the Rob. And yeah, thanks for having me. Good chat. Nice Sunday. See you next week.
All right. Appreciate you, man. Jamie, what you got, brother?
Man, thanks for having me. Got a couple of videos up this past week, and going to be working on some more. Got to catch up on some side work right now, though. So uh, Friday night's 8 o'clock, Georgia Shooting Connection. Come join us. We'll have fun. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, always a pleasure. You guys will notice probably here in the next few days, I'm going to post up next week's chat and the following week's chat because I will not have my laptop with me. I will be going home. I'll be actually home. My brother is bought me a ticket home, so I'll be home for 2 weeks. So the next couple of Sundays, I will probably just be on my phone. So Allen will be more in control of all the buttons and stuff and the invites and all that good stuff. But looking forward to that. And we had a great chat tonight. Lots of good conversation. Appreciate everyone out there. And throw it over to Allen. Take us out, right?
Well, thanks for cluing me in on that because I would have been for a damn loss. Anyway, man, that sounds phenomenal. You sure he can't buy another ticket for, just another ticket? I need to go. Absolutely phenomenal chat. Great side chat. Thank you, folks, for everybody joining. I am looking absolutely forward to another week of work demanding every bit of my momentary life that I have left here on this existent spinning blue ball we call Earth. Nevertheless, please do me one favor and keep them magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Woo!